how did you even get the job? I think this is what everyone wants to know, because not everyone can just rock up to Football Manager, hand in their CV and work for them. So how did this come about?
Appreciate the words, innit? It is a bit of a mad one, don't get me wrong. I think for the first 2 months I was there, like I'd walk in, see the big FM logo. What am I doing here? This is mad. Like, what, I'm going in to go play FM? This is mad. But so I kind of came to the end of the coaching road and I was like, you know what? It's bare cold. Like, I'm here coaching, wearing bare layers, like having to do all these kids that are just running around. I don't want to do this no more. It was fun. I did it for like 5-6 years, but I want a office job, something still in football, but something stable. So I had a bit of a madness to leave the job I was at because they didn't want to let me go, but managed to get out of the job I was doing with the private schools. Yeah. And then I applied for, basically, I was like, if I'm going to work in the office, I want to do something at a company that I think is sick. So I applied at Opta, another company called Football Radar. So another thing that you can do for people that want jobs in football. All these betting companies, they get their odds from companies that pay people to watch football. So you watch football all day, you say, oh, this team in the Japanese league is this good, this team in whatever league is this good, and that's where they get the odds from.
That's where they get the odds from.
That's where they get the odds. So there are quite a few people at FM that used to do that kind of role. So I applied for one of those, but you needed mad maths, and maths is not me in it. So I didn't get that. I got the Opta job. That was still to this day the hardest job I've ever done. You're basically, I know we're not going to talk about it, but you're basically logging live events with a 15-second delay, and every button on a keyboard is something different. So like one's a long pass, one, but more detail. So one's long pass, one's header, one's headed clearance, one's everything in it. So that was just long, and I was there for like a month. And then the FM story is a bit of an interesting one. It's worth telling the story. So there's a event every year, and I recommend anyone to go to this event. It's called Kick It Out, Raise Your Game. So you know Kick It Out Racism? Yeah. They do an event at the Emirates every year called Raise Your Game, where it's basically all these people from the football industry, so the managers, coaches, all sorts, people that run ticket, like front of ticket houses, all jobs you can imagine in football. It's like almost like speed dating. So you get like 15 minutes with all these people, sit down, chat to them. So I went to that as a coach thinking, how can I get a job in football that isn't coaching? One of my guys, shout out my man, he put me onto it. I was working with him as just an unpaid scout. Yeah. He'd send me clips of players, like the most random players, like Lanzini's brother in Argentina. Yeah. What do you think of him? Like, just sending me all these clips. Like, I was just doing that just to get experience scouting, because I was thinking scouting is something I still wanted to do. And anyway, so I went to this event. I see Football Manager on the side of it with like a little stool. I'm like, I play Football Manager. What you lot doing here? It's like me being me. Like I said, like, you got a network, you got to go to people. I went up to them. I'm like, oh, what you guys doing here? They're like, we're hiring for testers. I was like, what do you mean testers? Like, what, to play the game and get paid? They're like, yeah. I was like, mad. All right, cool. Take my details now, innit? Like, take my details. Didn't hear nothing for like 2-3 months. Like, to the point where I'd accepted Opta, done training at Opta for a month, started working there, and then just got an email for an interview. And then went to the interview, got the job after like a week. But obviously it helped. I had the coaching background, I had a football manager background. And like you said, and like I always say, everything happened for a reason. We spent our whole childhood playing Football Manager. So when they're asking me questions about the game, I know the game at the back of my hand. I've racked up 200-300 hours on this game every year. So I'm not there in the interview chatting shit about the game.
What are they asking you in the interview, and what are you giving examples of your actual seasons?
Yeah. Like in my cover letter, I started chatting about all my seasons. I was like, I took Portsmouth from League 2 to the Premier League. Like, I signed this player. I did like, what other cover letter are you gonna get away with that kind of thing? So I'm like, and even like now when I'm there, I see people apply and they don't talk about it in their cover letter. I'm like almost like they're shy. Yeah. I'm like, bro, you're coming here to work. Like, this is the only place people are trying to hear what you've done, innit? Yeah. So yeah, man, like when I was actually there, I was like, yeah, I've got this save, I use this player. And at that time, I can probably talk on it now because we don't do it like this anymore. But at that time, they show you a screenshot of a game, of like a squad sheet, and say like, find what's wrong. Like, there's no right or wrong answer. They just want to see how your mind works. Yeah. So I was just picking out mad niche things. I was like, I think I had the Arsenal squad. I'm like, Giroud wouldn't have 72% pass accuracy if he's playing in this role, because like, I'm just throwing.
You haven't even got the job. Like, this is just off your
just off me, just how I'm playing. I'm like, they're clearly playing a 4-2-3-1, and their wingers like no winger has double-digit assists. You'd have more assists if I'm throwing everything out there. But obviously, I think, don't get me wrong, I had the good coaching background and I had the good knowledge of the game. So that definitely helped me.
Yeah.
But then, I went into there as a QA tester. So QA tester is basically game tester, is what it's like the official title for it. So I went into there as a tester, and there's like different departments for the testing. So like a game like Football Manager, well, most games, but Football Manager is what I'll use the example, is they'll have press conferences, news and media, tactics, then like all the different areas of the game. Then they'll have like general play test, where you literally just go and just play through the game and find whatever you find.
Bugs and stuff, like things that may
bugs,
be
like things that are wrong with it, like anything random, like anything, like you click to buy a player and like the price is wrong. It's like someone's worth 100 mil when it should be worth 20 mil.
Yeah.
Or even like I'm pressing the delay button for a transfer and it doesn't come up. It's not delaying. Anything can be a bug. Even things that like don't work. So like skipping around a bit, but one random thing that I noticed when I first went in there is you'd get a bid for one of your players and you get, say, like 6 bids on the screen.
Yeah.
And there was no way to just like reject them all at the same time. So I was like, put a button in for reject all.
They didn't have that when you joined.
And, like, even now I play the game and I see that, I'm like, that was me. Like,
yeah.
I was like, how could that? Why was
that's
that
mad.
Like. But like just things like that. So like, but I'll just log in loads of match bugs because obviously my background was in coaching. So I'm playing matches, I'm like logging bugs like players aren't transitioning from set piece quick enough and stuff like that. And they're like, all right, cool, we're going to move this guy to the match team. So then I ended up working on the match team where you literally just play matches all day, every day, and just find like what we call AI bugs. So like anything from like the fullbacks aren't overlapping at the right time to the DMs not screening the back four in the right position. And I was just trying to use all my coaching knowledge and all my football knowledge to kind of improve the game. And I went in there on a 3-month contract, then ended up staying 18 months. So yeah, man, it was good.
Mad.